because I forgot that I was muted there, but it's really nice that we can at least come together today. Or while I can't see you all face to face, I hope that we'll just give you some thinking about what this year has been like, and tell you a bit of information about next year. And I suppose it has been a really difficult and different year from time to time. We have had a number of occasions and things that we weren't expecting to happen. We had the Martin timetable, which Mr. Martin wrote in maths, and we only expected it to last just a few weeks, and yet it is still running today. You've been in bubbles, you've stayed in your classrooms all day, you've had lockdowns, you've worn masks, you've not worn masks, you've sanitised, you've tested. Some of you have been in isolation. Some of you have unfortunately had COVID itself, and you've done a lot of remote learning in school, and you've learnt remotely. All of that across a year that no one could have predicted would have been like that. So how are you going to remember your year? For me, I've got a few key moments that I'm going to share with you, and one of them was this occasion when we handed the keys over on April the 14th of this year, and we were then sole owners, if you want, of the main building. Amazing moment. And then we worked really hard in the coming days to get the school ready for you to be part of it when you returned in the summer. Not long before that, it had only been at groundwork level. And it's amazing how quickly the building did go up, and through the different stages, how it got itself to be the building that we are working and sitting and being part of on a day-to-day from now. Throughout the year, there are different points of memory for me. One was being able to give all these laptops away, as well as organising the one-way systems that we had to put in place for you to follow when you returned at various stages across the year. A really memorable occasion was the Remembrance Service. It was the only time in the year that we have brought everybody together. I remember it being a little bit chilly, but it was just nice to see everyone. We got to Christmas and we managed to distribute over 50 hampers and Christmas dinners to our own school community and wider. And my thanks always, as always, goes to the staff and students that helped and supported that. And more recently, we've said goodbye to our Year 11s. They went through the arch and were clapped in by all the staff as they finished their last day. Last week, we took part in the year, this was the Year 7 sports afternoons, but I know there were sports afternoons for all the other year groups that I was able to join in and see, and they were amazing events run by the PE department for you. We were also lucky enough to be able to run our own Year 11 prom. We held it here, which meant it didn't have to be cancelled, and we would want to continue to make sure that you, when you get to Year 11, have these same opportunities. Going back a little bit, when you left us in April to go off for your Easter holiday, all the staff stayed and they helped pack up and move furniture out of all the classrooms because we had to clear all the spaces in the old building. Some of us stayed a bit longer and had to pack all the packing cases into the West Wing. Throughout the year, we have contributed to Love Works and the food bank, and you have done that today as well. And I have been overwhelmed and I'm full of admiration for all of you that have contributed to make sure that we can support and feed our local families. So thank you for doing that. Whether you've done it today for the first time or whether you've been regular contributors, every bit of food that you put in there makes a difference to a family. So very well done and thank you. And then, of course, we've had little Ivy, who I know many of you enjoy coming to see or seeing her when she's out and about. Whilst I know she can be a bit yappy at times, she definitely brings lots of joy to the school and helps remind us of the value that she brings. And I suppose we could be remembering the Warwick School. Can't see it at the moment because it's waiting to be demolished, and over the next few months it will be demolished and be private number. Ask people to put themselves on mute, that would be great, so then we won't get the feedback. Thank you. From September, we are no longer going to be the Warrington School, and we will be Carrington School. And everything about us will advertise that we are Carrington School. But with that, as we've said many times, we'll be taking many of the elements of the Warwick School that were working for us and putting them into practice. So not too much will change other than the name, but we do have some things I'm going to share with you. We do have some great spaces. Obviously, and you may not have experienced all of them. You've definitely experienced the observatory and the food, and that's been a centre that has really been thriving and is a wonderful place to sit and talk to people, and I find it's one of my favourite places for me to go to as well. Eventually we will see the site like this, and without the building that sits currently behind where I'm delivering the assembly. But in September, when you come back, the buildings around will have been renamed. So the North Block will become the Vega Building, Altair is the East Block, and Deneb the South Block, named after circumpolar stars, and link with some of the subject areas that are taught within them. And this main building that I'm in will be called the Astra Building. And over next year, we should begin to see the transformation of the whole site to look a bit more like this rather than the building site it is. But when you come back in September, we will still be working as we are. Other things that we have changed are our values. And if you aren't aware, we'll be working to aspire, innovate and respect. And we'll be expecting you to think about those as you go through all your subject areas and when you work with each other and in the way that you behave around the school. And you'll begin to see some of the language and the expectations as you travel from class to class and through the corridors. Our motto is also going to be Ad Astra, getting to the stars, reach for the stars, your journey to the stars. Whatever you want to do, whatever you dream for, whatever you want to be, it is our job to work with you and to help you to get there. And that is what we want to be able to do over the coming few years. So really think about that. How far are you on your journey? Where are you going to get to? And how are you going to do that? And then what do you need us to do to help you further? With all that said, our school day is also changing. And so your school day will look slightly different as it does here, with different start times on a Monday and Friday to a Tuesday, Thursday and Wednesday, and slightly different finish times as well. And because of the changes to the time of the day, and because the lessons are staying at 45 minutes, there is a change to what your week looks like and the way the lessons are structured. You will have staggered breaks and lunch times across the week, different from Key Stage 4. Both breaks are now 30 minutes instead of one short and one longer. And there's already lots of enrichment opportunities built into your programme. So we really hope that you'll come back and be excited about the opportunities that this timetable will bring to you. We will also be doing full lessons in all the specialist rooms, so you can enjoy the practical elements that that brings as well. As you will know, the uniform is changing with the name change, but it is really important that you are aware. If your Warwick uniform is still fine and you have all the bits that you need for it, you can and should continue to wear that. There is no expectation that you have to change your uniform, unless of course it doesn't fit you. And if it doesn't fit you, you fit into the Key Stage 3 Carrington uniform, which is made up of a blazer, white open neck blouse and skirt if you wear the skirt uniform, or trousers and a tie and blazer if you want to wear the trouser uniform. And they do need to be ordered if we're going to be successful in getting them to you before you come back to school. So do have that conversation with your families and see where you're at. But you do not need to change if your Warwick uniform is still fine. We need to be in uniform in September. We need to be smart, focused and ready to learn from the word go. Now, we haven't had a chance to introduce you to your senior prefects this year because we haven't had assemblies as we would normally. So I'm just going to put their pictures up so you can see that Amelia Rolt and Jason Manning are your head prefects. and your senior prefect team are made up of these, I'm going to say 8, but there's nine students who you may or may not know, but will get to know as they become more actively involved in the school from September. And as we draw to a close of this assembly, it is now time really just to say a few farewells, because like you would imagine in any year, we do say goodbye to staff at the end of the summer term, and we have a few staff that are leaving us today. So we say goodbye to Mrs. Thompson, who is a humanities teacher, to Mr. Appiah, who teaches maths, and to Miss Gould, who teaches English. We also say goodbye to Mrs. Waddington in reception, Mrs. Borman, who looks after the Year 9 Student Hub, and finally to Mrs. Scarsbrook, who is our Senko. And I'm sure many of you will recognise and have been taught by one, some, or most of those members of staff, and will want to wish them well in their next journey. So it leaves me to ask the question about what you have learned this year. What are your memories? What are your reflections? What might you do differently in September, and what are you going to continue to do as well? I'm sure for each of you, there are great successes along the way. And before you go, I'm just going to read to you what I've learned. I've learned that it takes years to build up trust and only seconds to destroy it. I've learned that no matter how good a friend is, they might hurt you once in a while, and you must forgive them for that. I've learned that you should never ruin an apology with an excuse. I've learned that you shouldn't compare yourself to the best others can do. And I've learned that you can keep going long after you think you can't. I've learned that if we work together, look out for each other and celebrate together, we will be able to do great things and achieve our dreams. I've learned to say thank you, hello, goodbye, and are you okay? Many times a day, because everyone matters, and how they feel makes a difference to me and to us as a community. If people feel good, I have learned they will thrive. I've learned that this is a fantastic place to learn, and that I will miss each and every one of you over the summer break, but I hope you stay well, stay safe, and find time to relax and recharge, ready to return and to tackle the world and to reach for these stars. I've learned that our time as Carrington School is about to begin, and it will be great. With that said, I'm going to let you go for your summer holidays. Have a super time, look after yourselves, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and goodbye.
Bye.